Hey Daryl, how are you?
Hello there. Doing well.
Oh, good. It's nice to nice to finally see your face. How are you? How's everything going?
It's going pretty well. It's cold and gray up here in Minnesota again, but that's life.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's actually the out here, but it's still chilly, but it's supposed to warm up. They said maybe 16 sometime next week, so I'm
Okay,
loving
that'd be
it.
good.
Yes. What part of Minnesota are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
Southwest corner,
Oh, not bad.
roughly 45 minutes from South Dakota, 45 minutes from Iowa.
Oh, wow. Nice. And you
Yeah.
get the best of both worlds, actually. That's perfect. That's
We're about
fun.
90 miles from Sioux Falls, about
Oh, that's not
75
bad.
from Mankato. So,
Oh, nice. Did you get stuck with all that snow? I heard.
we didn't. We got maybe a couple inches of snow, but it was blowing so much that, there's places where it's bare and there were, 1 foot snow drifts in places.
That's not bad. Not
Yeah,
bad.
it happens.
Exactly. Well, thank you for allowing me to do this podcast with you. I'd really appreciate it.
Oh, no
Um,
problem.
I just wanted, just if you could just give me like a little introduction about yourself, like your career, how did you become an actor? Like what inspired you? What muse did you have? I'm curious.
Well, my name's Daryl Hrdlicka. I live in Westbrook, Minnesota, about 100 miles from where I grew up. I just started moving west and stopped here. I've been an actor since high school. I actually lettered in drama, so that's something. And then I did a couple of plays, summer theater after that, and then didn't do much until about 22 years ago, I think, when I got involved with the Laura Ingalls Wilder pageant in Walnut Grove, where we tell the story of, Laura and when their family moves there. And it's a lot of fun to do. And I got back into acting. And then about 10 years ago, a man in a local city, Owatonna, needed extras for a zombie movie. Sounded like fun. So I went and I was a zombie extra on, I think, 3 or 4 different weekends. And I realized that, hey, you go 1 or 2 days, you get your scene shot, and then later you get to see yourself in a theater. I like this.
Nice.
I was in a couple movies after that, more as extras. And then I started making my own short films with the help of Doug Garash out of Sioux Falls. Very good instructor. He's really my mentor on all this. And we made a few of our own shorts, and then I got into bigger and bigger roles, and that's where I am today.
Nice. That is great. Wow. Have you ever heard of the TV show Z Nation?
Yes.
I was gonna say, were you ever an extra on that one? Because I love that show, and oh my gosh.
No.
No.
The movie I was in, well, it was kind of a low budget. I think the actual budget was between 2 and 3 million. But the coolest part was Tony Todd was in it, the Candy Man,
Oh,
and I
really?
got to be on set with him. And at the end of the first day shoot, he's extras, come here, all the extras, and we got there, and we had this huge group photo with Tony
Oh,
Todd, and that was so amazing.
oh, I bet. That is awesome. Wow. Wow, that is cool. So now, have you been doing this? You've been acting your whole life, basically? Is it something that pretty much more or less like, are there any, uh, was there, I guess, like, did you know, like, from the get-go that acting was your thing? That's what you wanted to do?
I enjoyed it in high school. I have a disability. I have a bad knee, and then other things have gone out since then. So I couldn't really do sports. I wasn't musical enough at the time to be in band, and being in drama was fun. I liked hanging around with the people and putting on the show and acting and getting into different characters. And I really enjoyed it in high school. And like I said, I took quite a break for a long time, but getting back into the Wilder pageant has been great. I played Elias Beadle. I played Reverend Alden. I played Reverend Moses. I've been James Kennedy for about the last 10 years. I even got to be Mr. Olson one year, which was kind of fun, but I don't think I was a good Mr. Olson, so I'll let other people handle that role. But it's just getting to act and getting to be different people and figuring out how to do it. And I love slipping into somebody else and just playing them for a while, I guess.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember growing up watching Little House on the Prairie. Wow, I never knew it was filmed in In Minnesota. That's interesting.
Well,
No.
it wasn't filmed in Minnesota.
Oh, it wasn't.
It was filmed in California. And actually, the Little House on the Prairie itself, I believe, was Kansas. The one about Walnut Grove, Minnesota, was actually on the banks of Plum Creek. And I think there were 5 or 6 written about DeSmet, South Dakota, which
Okay.
is where most of them should have been. But when they did the TV show, they thought Walnut Grove sounds like such a magical town. And so, but she was only here for, I believe, 4 or 5 years. And they moved to Iowa, came back, and then they moved out to South Dakota.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Thank you. I had no idea. I thought everything was filmed in Minnesota for some reason. Um, so I looked at your IMDb and you got quite a history. And I'm very impressed, truthfully. Out of the movies you've done, is there one movie that you kind of you enjoy doing versus I'm not saying that you like what movie did you really have fun doing? Like what was if you had to pick one?
I think the one I had the most fun with was Loon Lake with Ansel Faraj. He's actually out in Hollywood, well, Los Angeles. And he came up here because one of his frequent collaborators is from by Worthington, about a half hour away. And there's a local legend about the cemetery out at Loon Lake where a witch is buried. And if you step over her grave 3 times, she comes back for you.
Wow.
And they decided to do a movie based on that folktale. And I think it's a really good movie. And I got to be the barfly. Me and a fellow actor from Sioux Falls, we've done a lot together. We were the bartender and the barfly, and this new guy comes in and he's, oh yeah, I was just out going there. I found a cemetery, and we look at each other and it's, oh yeah, which one? And so we get to play the locals who know the history of everything, and we're stringing him along, and it's, yeah, supposed to be a witch buried out there. I hope you were kind of careful walking around. And that was such a blast. And we actually filmed it on my birthday. And so
Oh,
my birthday in 2018, I got to sit in the Round Lake American Legion drinking near beer, making a movie. And that was
nice.
so much fun.
Oh, wow. And now, is this the most, this Loon Lake, is this like the most recent one that came out, or is
um,
this, how old was this one?
that was 2018. The most
Okay.
recent that's come out, I was an extra. That was The Painter. I have worked with that director on 3 or 4 other movies, and one of his, The Cross, I had a pretty large role. It's based on his actual grandparents who were French Canadian Catholics who moved to small town Iowa in the 1920s. And they aren't really liked, and the Klan is big at the time. And I play the apathetic sheriff, and it's, I like the people, but I'm not going to stick my neck out for them.
Yeah.
And it's a good role because I'm trying my best to protect them, but I'm not going to take on the whole town. And so it
Nice.
was a lot of fun. I think I was in 5 or 6 different scenes, and I really love the way that turned out. And that is called The Cross, and that's by Michael Gerard White.
Okay.
And again,
I
the last one, I was just an extra, but I like working with him. So if he wants me to drive 2 hours to be at a dinner table, that's fine. I'll do that. You work with the people you know.
exactly. Oh, that's great. Wow. Now, have you ever gone to have you ever had to fly out to Hollywood at
No,
all? No.
no, I'm
Everything
not
was
that important.
oh. Oh wow, but that's no to me you're amazing. I mean that's quite an accomplishment. I mean all these films you've done, even being an extra or whatever. I mean that's wow. It's just even little scenes. That's amazing. Um Now can you tell me a little bit about this most recent one that you're in? Oh, excuse me.
The Painter is another one of Michael White's, as I said. It's about set in the 1920s again. It's a rich family, and the wife is bored, and she thinks they need some artistic presence. And so she hires this painter who is still kind of shell shocked from the war to live in the guest house on the estate.
Oh,
And of course, he falls for the daughter who's a ballerina.
of course.
And who, there's the rich family that she should marry our son. That's actually the role I tried out for, as the father of the.
Excuse me.
But and it's a very good story. I haven't seen it yet. They're working on a distribution deal, and I wasn't able to go to the premiere they're usually down in Iowa, and it's about a 3 hour drive, and it just depends if I can make it that day or not.
Yeah.
But it will be coming to, I think, Amazon because most of his are on Amazon, or he'll do other distribution deals. I was also in, let me check here, I think I was in two or three other feature films that were shot last year, but they haven't come out yet. They're in post production. Sioux Falls, there was one called Killing It. There's another one called Land of Many Birds. They're filming one in Minnesota called Give Me a W. That's by Katie O'Regan. And it's just a matter of you go and you film it. At some point it's done. At some point it's in post production. With my own movies, I know that is the most nerve wracking time because it can take months up to a year to get a good final cut of the movie. And
Wow.
so when it comes out, I'll see how I did. Those I was all extras again, although Land of Many Birds, I was a featured extra. I don't know why they
Nice.
like me, but they gave me and my daughter a role at the big fishing tournament. We're
Nice.
recognized as the father daughter combination. So we get to look at each other and just, oh, shucks.
That is so cool. I like that. Oh, wow. That's awesome. What what advice would you give to someone who wants to start out in acting? If they came to you and said, what do you well, like what advice could you give someone that wants to start out in that business but doesn't know where to, you know, like what to do?
If you find a movie in your area or even, somewhere around, I frequently drive 2.5 hours to be in a movie. But when you get on set, even if you're just an extra, pay attention. Find out what's going on. If they need the extra someplace, make sure you're ready to go. Make sure you know where you're supposed to be when this happens, when that happens. Listen to the director and just kind of take it in. I'm still learning stuff on set every time I go and I watch a scene being shot and I'm like, that's how they do that. That's a really good idea. And you file it away and you just learn from being there. But start as an extra or start as a PA. That's production assistant, kind of a glorified gopher. I've done that on a lot of movies too, where they need somebody to run the slate or to move this or that or to go, tell the extras to get ready or whatever and just help and pay attention.
Nice. Yeah, because I've heard people asking in just in conversations, I've heard people asking, like, I don't know how to get involved in acting and how do I do it? And I've always been curious how, but now talking from a real actor, that's awesome. That's amazing.
And it
Um,
is one of those matters you're not going to get rich off it. I don't know if I've ever been paid for a movie role. I've gotten gas reimbursement sometimes if you're lucky. For the most part, you're doing it because you love doing it. I have been paid to be in a couple of commercials, and that was nice.
oh,
But
good.
you're not going to get rich on it out here. I only know one actor who is a SAG, a guild actor,
Hmm.
and I don't know that he's done any studio movies out here. And so he does freelance anyhow, even though he's not supposed to, because there's just not enough work in South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa to
Yeah,
pay for you being a professional actor. So if you do it, you're doing it because you love doing it.
exactly. Yeah, because that's what I've heard from people. Some people who want to be in that role, who want to be an actor or an actress, they'll say, well, geez, I'd like to make a lot of money. I want to be an actress. It's like, well, you may want to
Yeah.
rethink that. It's not what it's,
It's
it's you
similar.
gotta love it.
Yeah. It's similar to I see so many screenwriters on the Reddit screenwriting board about, okay, I've got my first script. How do I get it in Hollywood? And it's like, no, 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 you're not. Good that you have a script done. If you're lucky, you can find people who will help you make it. But, I wrote my movie. Now I'm going to be famous. You're not. I've written probably about a dozen scripts. I just actually finished up another one, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to film it. But I do know a lot of friends, and maybe some of them can. So it's you have a network. Even this, if this movie I wrote isn't for me, it might work for my friend in Sleepy Eye, or the one in Sioux Falls, or the one down in Sioux City, or you have the network.
Exactly. Now, I had another question, it just escaped me at the moment. Oh my gosh. Have you, oh, I just had a thought. I just had a, I couldn't remember. There was a movie that I saw that I had a question on that you did, and I'm trying to remember what it was now because it was um Pale Dawn.
Oh, okay.
I meant to ask you like what because I was looking at your movies and that one sort of stuck out and interests me. Like, can you elaborate like what that was about a little?
The first movie I was ever really part of was called Pale Luna, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
based on a creepy pasta about a man who solves an old computer game, and it's not good. And a friend, well, Doug Garash actually helped me with that, and that's when I started learning how to make my own movies. And that was about an 8 minute short, and it really turned out good. We had a lot of fun writing it. We came up with a twist ending that wasn't in the original. And at the end, everybody was like, "What happens next?" And so I actually sat down, and over the course of about 6 to 9 months, I wrote the sequel. And it follows so completely from the first movie. I'm very proud of it. Um, it's a great story. It ended up just about a half hour because that's how long we needed. I don't really want to say too much about it because if I tell you what happens in Pale Dawn, you know Pale Luna.
Yeah, no,
But
I definitely the your movies are on my list to watch. Which brings me to my other question is are these movies where can one watch them if they want to check it out? Like,
my movies, um, well, the few I've done are free on YouTube. A lot of them I got done with grants, and so they have to be available. But also, I don't want to put them behind a paywall. I'm not going to make money off it. I want people
mhm.
to see them and to have fun with them.
If you wouldn't
Um,
mind, after this podcast, could you send me a link to your YouTube channel? And I could,
sure.
and I, if with your permission, I can go ahead and just get the word out there if you'd like. I,
All right.
I want people to know you're amazing. I mean, and it's nice because you know, it's nice to have someone from the Midwest that, especially to help someone like me because I want to eventually get my feet into acting, but
Right.
I did some commercials, but nothing that is out there where people can see it every day. But,
Right.
but I did have one more thing I wanted to ask you. I saw one of the movies that says Sicily Street. I'm Italian, so when I saw that word, I'm like, oh, I gotta ask him about this one.
That is one of my favorite movies. I actually wrote it as a play based on a couple little ideas I had, and I tied them together. Um, it's okay. Two hit men, well, hit women, decide they're going to help out, and it actually starts with lately. There's been a lot of talk about family television. Now we happen to belong to a certain family. We ain't saying which one. And so we decided to try to help out with today's youths. And with that in mind, we present to you Sicily Street, the Inanna of our forefathers which came to this country. And so it's two mobsters doing educational television. The play was absolutely hilarious, and the movie turned out pretty well too. We were able to add to it because you can do that in a movie. But I love Sicily Street.
Oh, that's yeah, because that caught my attention. I'm like, oh, I've got to ask him about this one because I used to live in Italy and I love Italy, so it was just like, wow, I gotta find out. So yeah, this is great. Yes, if you could definitely send me your podcast channel, a link to your podcast channel, that'd be great. And I want to get it out there, let people check out these movies. I mean, the titles are, I just can't wait to see them. I know that Carl mentioned that there was one movie that recently came out. I think The Painter, that's the recent one, right? The most,
Yes,
okay. Was there another one, or is that that you were in?
that's that's the most recent. But like I say, I've been in. Well, right
Oh,
now, let me check my page here. I think there's 8 or 9 that I've
am I?
had my scenes filmed that haven't come out yet.
Okay, this was one I think you posted to the other day. I think to me on my, I don't know if that's the same one.
It probably
Maybe
is
it
the
is.
painter. That was
It
the
is.
last big
Okay.
one.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Um, do you is there is there anything, any other any more, are there any future plans in the work for any more movies? Any in
Uh,
the mill or?
well, we're doing a horror movie, well, creature feature movie being shot around New Ulm, Minnesota. And that's a throwback to the 50s Day of the Jacalopterus, which is an
Oh,
ancient sea scorpion. And I love the tagline my friend came up with: evolution killed it, climate change brought it back.
that
And
is
there I
nice.
and there I get to play the park ranger who doesn't have time for this silliness. We just have to find out what's going on. So
Nice. So that's something maybe next or late this year it'll come out,
it'll
maybe
come out next year. They already
next year.
filmed one scene, and then we're
Okay.
going to work on, filming the rest. A friend of mine in Sioux Falls is doing a remake of a TV movie in broad daylight, which was about a town in Missouri where there was the guy that terrorized everybody. And then one day he was mysteriously murdered in the middle of Main Street and nobody in town saw a thing. And that's
Ah,
based on true events from Skidmore, Missouri. And he's working on that. I'm going to have a small role in that. And it's just,
nice.
you know people and you find out things are going on and you just have to casually, say, I hear you're working on this, and if they have a chance, they'll put you in. And if they don't, they'll keep you in mind. And it goes the other way too. I've got so many friends that I try to work in, give them a role somewhere, give them something if you can. And
Hmm.
it's professional courtesy. And that way you get called when they have
Yeah,
something going on.
that's true.
The one in
Excellent.
Owatonna where they did the zombie movie, I think I've been in 6 or 7 of his. And in 3 of the movies, my scenes have been cut just because they didn't work. And that's an editorial standpoint. And I get that. And in return, there's a movie that hasn't come out yet. And I don't think I can say the name of it. He
That's
actually
okay.
called me up and said, Daryl, I feel bad that we had to cut your scenes. Do you want to be in this one and have a few lines? And it's yes.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
that's how it goes.
That's that's that yeah, that's the way it is. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being on my podcast. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for asking me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Also, if you when you get it afterwards, if you could send me the link to your YouTube channel,
All right.
and also if we could give you a call later on and kind of if just go over a few things, would be great if you have time today.
Sure, I will.
Okay.
And you can go to the YouTube channel, but it's also full of bad music videos where I recorded myself for a friend in Scotland. So ignore those.
Oh, that's okay.
But the movies are there too. So,
Perfect. Great. Do you do music too on the side with that besides acting or
well, I'm actually a professional spoon player. So,
spoon player?
spoon player, I play musical spoons.
Oh, I have never. Oh, okay. I've never heard of that actually. That's cool.
Well, if you give me a second here,
Yeah, sure. Oh, wow. I have never. That's cool.
these are wooden spoons from Blue or from Black Owl Guitar.
Oh,
And these are
wow.
my current, carry along, but it's just, and you
Oh,
just tap out the rhythm. And I actually wrote a book about it that's for sale just so I could say play them. I wrote the book on it.
nice.
So you can find out how to make and play the musical spoons. That's on Amazon.
Excellent. Thank you. Um, and again, I thank you for being on my podcast today. I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. And we'll give you a call later.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.